smoke a day?
Not anymore.
I'm a bed.
Here is two.
I'm a bed.
Yes, my darling, yes.
Joel, what did Anne-Marie learn at university, if anything?
Girls.
So funny.
Hang on, I'll try preparing some wie kan ik am besten zum Birkela. Now, Joel, Anne-Marie has got a tattoo.
Go on.
That might be news to some of you, and I know it's news to you. And you can try and guess what it is.
I won.
No, the answer I've got here is this.
I won.
This one.
I remember the day our mother discovered Anne-Marie's tattoo. She was fine about it as long as she had it somewhere it didn't matter. Luckily, she had it done in Rains Park. Anne-Marie is a great hostess and always circulates amongst her party guests with a bottle in hand. Has she ever let the occasion go to her head? Yes. The answer I have here is that no, she's usually passed out at 7 o'clock. Final question, you'll be pleased to hear this. As a little girl, Anne-Marie had a glamorous alter ego that she assumed by taking off her pants and putting them on her head. What was the name? What was the name of this alter ego?
This is the first I've heard of this.
This,
Oh, it's this now.
sort of. So you have no idea. Anne-Marie, can you help us? Go on, what's the name? It was Puff Lucky. I don't know what it means on that. Thank you, Joel. Your willful ignorance about our sister will, I'm sure, lead to happiness. We now have the first speeches, and to get things underway, I would like to introduce our stepfather, Andrew. Andrew. Andrew has always been a strict stepfather to the three of us, and thinking back to when we all became one big happy family, I know we all remember his disapproval of the amount of television we watched. His response was to impose a maximum hour and a half viewing per night. Whilst we initially saw this as an infringement of our human rights, we quickly spotted a loophole in the new arrangement. He had failed to specify that it was 90 minutes in total. So we collaborated and ended up watching consecutive slots together. This effectively resulted in an enforced 4.5 hours TV. And we were soon begging to get out of our own outside and fresh air. Andrew.
Welcome everyone to Joel and Anne-Marie, especially to Joel's father, who's flown in from Thailand, Joel's aunt Sarah, who's come from Belgium, my daughter Suzanne and her family who come from Norway. Happy birthday to you. And to Nuno, our photographer, who's flown in from Portugal. He's probably one of very few people who's visited every country in the world, and he's published a number of photographic books. He has, however, never covered a wedding before. So just in case, please send us copies of all your email addresses, slip of paper in your rooms. A couple of points before we get started. Chichley Hall is not a hotel. There is no room service, and only one sitting for breakfast, which is in this room at 9:30 tomorrow morning, and I'm afraid you've all got to be out of your rooms by 10:30. There are a number of leaflets around about Chichley that make interesting reading. It was mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1086. It was owned by Cardinal Wolsey and then sold by him to finance the establishment of Christ's College, Oxford. During the last war, when the SOE, the Special Operations Executive, were based here, a miniature version of Barnes Wallace's bouncing bomb was tested on the lake outside. In 1954, the son of Admiral Beatty, famous at the Battle of Jutland in the First World War, bought it. I wonder whether he was making a point to his father, since it's as far from the sea as you can get in England. In 2009, it was bought by the Royal Society, in whose hands it is today. I would particularly like to thank Joel's mother, Linda, and Pauline's brother, Christopher, for their very generous contributions to the cost of this celebration. It was extremely kind of you both. I would also like to thank my wife, Pauline, and Anne-Marie for the magnificent job they've done in terms of organising everything. Anne-Marie, in particular, has been outstanding. I had hoped one of them would write the speech for me, but unfortunately not. When I started mentioning some of the things I might talk about, there was an immediate outcry from both of them, and they insisted that it should be vetted. I refused on the basis that a lot of the wedding arrangements were being kept secret from me, and I therefore saw no reason to show them my speech. Like many battles recently, I've lost that one too. Or so they think. Fortunately, I'm conversant with cut, copy and paste. This is the uncensored version. My responsibilities as regards the organisation of this wedding were very limited. I collected the reply cards and passed the information on. The music requests were fun because there were several where I could not tell which was a group and which was a song. My particular favourite, however, was actually a non-request from a young lady saying, please don't play the stripper because old habits die hard. She should, of course, remain nameless. But Chris, it's number 13 on the playlist. I was surprised to find Anne-Marie's brothers, Rupert and Charles, alias Ant and Dec, still in denial about their television watching rights. I had anticipated that they would instead have ridden me about telling jokes. That would have been fair enough. I only know one joke, and it's rather a long tale about a zebra. No matter how many times I've tried telling it, I still forget the punchline. So I give up on it. Actually, I'm not sure that Anne-Marie and her mother are much better, particularly if they're telling one to one another. They get the first few words out, then they remember the punchline, and then they start laughing. This eventually finishes up as hysteria, with tears rolling down their cheeks, and one never learns even the start of the joke. The mention of tears brings me on to the first time that I met Anne-Marie, when she was 7 years old. After lunch, we sat down as a family to play the garden game. You've probably never heard of it, as it didn't catch on, but it's a variation of Monopoly. Anne-Marie's garden was flourishing at the start, but on drawing a chance card, a torrential storm wiped out all her flowers and vegetables. This proved too much, and tears followed. At that age, I had visions of her being a mathematician or biologist. One of her hobbies then was collecting snails. As she grew into her teens, the scientist in her disappeared, and she specialised in English and languages. She went through the normal schoolgirl crushes, Chesney Hawkes, Christian Slater, Tom Jamie, but the one that surprised us most was Jeff Cates, the image of the bad guy in Popeye the Sailor Man. With hindsight, we are delighted that her request to fight him on Jim will Fix It never came to it. Went off to Lancaster University to study German. She loved her time there and made many good friends, some of whom are here today. The 4-year course included a year off teaching English to German teenagers in Duisburg on the Rhine, and Anne-Marie matured rapidly. She lived in a garret in the Turkish quarter in this industrial town. I still remember her showing us back to our hotel when we visited, and then refusing to let us see her tube train. Apparently there were signs down there that no parent should be allowed to see her. Leaving university with her new confidence and maturity, she set off to get a job in Brighton, sharing a flat with her friend Emma. The route to Brighton from Lancaster passes within a mile of our house, but she didn't even stop for a cup of tea. 3 months there, and then London beckoned. She took to work and earned her salary like a duck to water. And in her penultimate job, met Joel, and the rest is history. Typically, none of the jobs made use of her German degree. Now she is an important lady with a company precise and has Buckingham Palace as one of her clients. She even got a meeting there recently in the room that opens out into the balcony. I'm delighted to welcome Joel to our family. I don't really have to say any more about him other than he's a golfer. What is more, to date at any rate, he's allowed me to beat him. Whether marriage will change this, I shall wait and see. Joel, you've got yourself a gold, no, a diamond nugget. My only advice to you, put her on a pedestal and worship her. You'll be well rewarded, and your life will be the richer for it. It has really been fun being a part of Anne-Marie's growing up, turning from a young girl to the beautiful woman we see before us now. When I asked around her friends, the predominant theme was that she's a loyal and caring person who is always there for you when needed. It has been an honour and a privilege to have been asked to be part of the bride today, and I have great pleasure in proposing the toast to Joel and Anne-Marie. I give you the bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Lovely speech, and it looks like you won that bet about mentioning Jimmy Savile. So we now have the groom. As you can imagine, Ruth and I have always been very protective of our little sister. Whenever a new man appeared, we were not afraid of letting him know. If we didn't approve, he was history. We had to do that a lot. Fortunately, Rupert and I took one look at Joel, and we knew immediately. He's far bigger than both of us. We're just going to have to let it happen. Thankfully, you've proved the perfect match for Anne-Marie. I give you the group.
First of all, I had to write these cards last night after a few beers. I did this all on my iPhone, and I wasn't allowed to use my iPhone, so that's hurtful, isn't it? First of all, Andrew, thanks very much for your speech. It was good work together. Looking forward to you as well. I'd like to say a big thank you to my wife. First of all, I said that wife. Thank you all for coming. I know it's a bit, we're up north somewhere in, I don't know, it's about Watford. I've lost myself already. Can I do this earlier? Okay. So into my thank yous. First of all, I'd like to thank Paul and Andrew. Thank you very much for all your help. It's, well, we wouldn't be here, and you know, you've done more really. Also, I don't know if you've noticed on the tables, there's little pots of jam.
No.
Prepared by the mother of the bride, and honestly, it's awesome. So do take it home. It's not our man. Lost and lose myself. I'd like to thank my parents. Again, obviously Dad, as you've heard, Dad's from over in Thailand. I'm from Leatherhead, not so far. But if it wasn't for the way you brought me up, I wouldn't be the person I'm standing in front of you today. And my beautiful wife, made a lot of fun for me, so thank you very, very much. Dad, I've just spent 2 days with you, and pretty much moaned the whole time. But yeah, we had a good night last night. Mum, also thanks very much for sending for the flowers and everything like that, and your contribution to my suit. Okay, Dan. I'm not going to say thank you yet, but I haven't heard the speech. Short and sweet. Yeah, I think I'll wait for that afterwards. I will say thanks to Phil though. I don't know if you know Phil, but he's my best man. He's been helping Dan with a bit of organising, I think, isn't it? And he's a bit loud as well, so it's useful. Ruth, got my own back. Thanks very much for doing the reading today, really appreciated, and well, you're brilliant. I'm looking forward to coming. See, I just don't know where you're sitting. Oh, no, Chris, but there you are. Thanks very much for doing the reading as well, we really appreciate that, and also your help towards the wedding, appreciate it. Nuno, got to say a few words here. You are a mad Portuguese man. My dad nearly had an argument with you last night about something, I don't know.
Thank you for giving me a pleasure for sharing your
I don't know if you know about Nuno, but he's actually very well travelled. We met him while we were travelling, and if you wanted to know, look at his photos that aren't today. He's got a website, www.nlphotography.com. Okay, so I'm happy to give in to the bridesmaid here. Thank you both for everything you've done today, and organising an Hindu, which I think you got my wife rather drunk, and I was going to go and pick her up the next day. I don't know if you do that. So. I know I've said a lot of thank yous, but I think it's time for us to say thank you with a few gifts. So, I'm going to ask my wife.
What?
No, I think it's still. Just going to check.
Oh, sorry, okay. I didn't know you were just about it.
Amelia. Yay!
I think it's really Lovely, isn't it?
Lee, anything you'd like to say to Joel?
The stripper.
I'm looking forward to later.
The usual standards, obviously.
Text them south.
Just say that the ones that have gone before are really good.
Say great speeches so far.
He's sticking his finger up to me, Lee.
Oh, dear. No, but this has got